Unfortunately, terrine making is becoming a bit of a lost art, so I reckon you should try making one yourself at home because I promise it's not as daunting as it seems. When it comes to British food, ham hock terrine is an absolute classic and it's the perfect place to start, especially if you've never made a terrine before. For this, I'm using 2 cured ham hock. They're basically the shin of the pig and you'll find them right above the trotter and just before the leg. They're also completely underrated because these two were only £3.50 each. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth bringing less appreciated cuts to people's attention because you might just end up driving demand and with that increasing the price. That's pretty much what happened with pork bellies, short ribs, flat irons, sweetbreads, but I think it's safe to assume that my reach isn't that extensive, so for now I think it's a risk I'm willing to take. To start cooking the hocks, I'm going to put them both in a large pan and completely cover them with cold water. Make sure the water does completely cover the hocks as any bits sticking out of the water won't cook properly. Place the pan on the heat and bring everything to a very gentle simmer. The reason we do this before we add any other ingredients is so we can draw out the impurities, blood and fat from the hocks and let them settle on the surface of the water like some sort of foamy scum. We can then use a spoon or a spatula to skim the surface to remove all this foam, which can be difficult to do if you've already added all your aromats and your spices. While the scum is forming, you can roughly chop up some onion, carrot and celery, and once you've skimmed the pan, the veg can go straight in. Then you can get some spices ready for the hocks. I'm using a little blend of fennel seed, pink peppercorns, mustard seed, star anise and black peppercorn. But you don't have to follow this verbatim, you can use this as an opportunity to clear out all those old spices from the cupboard. I know they're in there. If you want the full step-by-step method all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and find all my recipes in one place. Toast the spices in the oven or in a pan over a medium heat until they're fragrant and you can hear the seeds starting to pop and crackle. Then toss all the toasted spices in with the hock. Finally, grab some fresh herbs and throw them in too. I just grabbed what was in the garden, so a little bit of fennel, thyme, rosemary, a bit of parsley, but just like the spices previously, I'd say use whatever you want, but for me, this is a pretty good blend. Traditionally, you'd also include quite a lot of bay leaves, but the neighbours recently cut down their tree, so I couldn't get any. Once that's all in, you just have to keep the pan at barely a simmer for the next 3 or 4 hours. I always try and aim for 4 hours minimum, and you do want it to be barely simmering. If you boil this too hard, you're just going to end up with tight, dry, overcooked ham, which in turn will make your terrines all dry and mealy. So trust me, low and slow for as long as you can. Also, if the hocks start poking out of the water during the cooking, just add more or move them around a bit to make sure they're fully covered, otherwise the hocks aren't going to cook evenly. After 4 hours or so, the hocks should be cooked through and tender to the touch. Use a slotted spoon or a spider to carefully lift them out of the pan and set them aside for a little bit until they're cool enough to handle. Strain the cooking liquor and keep hold of it for another use. We're only going to need 100 ml later on, so the rest can be used for like soups, sauces and stews. Just keep in mind that unlike normal stock, this one is salty because it's all been drawn out of those ham hocks. It's not a big issue, but you just want to think about that when it comes to seasoning your food at the end. Now, the best thing to do is to pick the ham while it's still warm and strip all the meat from the bones, because if you wait till it goes cold, you're going to find it a damn sight harder. I'd recommend wearing some disposable gloves just to protect your hands from the heat of the ham. It can also get a little bit sticky because of all the gelatine that comes from the hocks. I'm all out of my very manly black cooking gloves, hence we're going with the marigolds today, and these do the job nicely. Remove the skin and the fat. It's of no use to us for this recipe, and you should find that the meat just comes off the bone really easily. A little twist or two and the bone should just come out of the hock nice and clean. Remove all the skin, fat and bones and then carefully start pulling the meat apart into nice bite-sized pieces and putting them into a mixing bowl, getting rid of any bits of skin, excess fat or sinew or anything else you don't really want in the final terrine. Now, a mistake I often see is that people shred up the ham way too much at this stage. We're not looking for a pulled pork texture here. What you actually want is lots of different size pieces of meat, nice and chunky, so that when you get a cross section through your terrine, it looks like a nice mosaic. Once all the ham has been shredded into a bowl, pour over that reserved cooking liquor and mix it all together really well. This liquor is super gelatinous and it's going to help our terrine stick together and hold its shape later on after we've chilled it. Then add some finely sliced shallot, some roughly chopped flat leaf parsley and give everything a gentle toss together just to distribute the shallots and herbs evenly throughout the meat. Now it's time to pack the mixture nice and tightly into a 1 pound loaf tin lined with cling film. This is actually a sandwich bag that I opened up because it turns out I don't have any cling film. Really press it down as you go because you want to get rid of any air gaps and make sure it holds together properly once it's set. Once all the meat is in, cover the top with cling film and place another loaf tin on top and weigh it down. Don't go over the top here, you just need enough weight to press it together as it chills, so a couple of cans in the cupboard will do the job. Then get that into the fridge overnight to set. By the next day it should be set, firm and ready to go. You can see I actually found something a bit more practical than those cans to weigh it down. Turn out the terrine onto a board and carefully remove all the cling film, and that is your ham hock terrine done. Now, using a sharp knife, slice it up nice and neatly, cutting it around 1.5 centimeters thick. And then you're free to serve it up pretty much any way you like. You can make it part of a large platter, or you could just plate up individual slices with pickles, cheese, homemade Guinness mustard, and a bit of salad for health. The chutney's great too. Do not be afraid to add some chutney. This ham hock terrine works great as a starter or on a charcuterie board, or just put it out as part of a buffet and let the people get stuck in. This is an old school recipe in the best possible way, so if you've never made terrine before, give this one a go. I promise you, it is worth it. If you want the full step-by-step method all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and find all my recipes in one place. If you try this, let me know how it turns out, and if you want more recipes like this one, check out this video next.